Hello again, guys and girls, GOW4 community. Welcome back, and this is episode 6, I think, of the Road to GOW4 series. And first off, I really want to apologise, guys. I know it's been like 2 weeks since my last video, and that's really, well, I guess you could count that scrim footage I put up, but I don't really count that because that was just a separate video for just some light entertainment. It wasn't really anything serious. But no, I really do apologise, guys, because I haven't been very good at putting out videos lately. So I guess to make up for it, I thought, you know what, I'll try and get at least like 2 videos out in the next maybe 10 days, because that is slightly faster than what I'm doing. I'm on average, I'm doing like 1 video a week, so that's like 1 video every 5 days. That's amazing. No, it's not. It's terrible, but I'm trying to do my best here, guys. So yeah, we're on to episode 6. This is power weapons. So first off, I just want to discuss the philosophy that Epic need to go through whilst developing power weapons and balancing them and things like that. And then I'll go on to discussing individual power weapons themselves. So the philosophy, what should Epic be telling themselves when they go through and start designing power weapons? And it's very simple, really. Balance. Balance not to be the same as the starting weapons. A power weapon should be, in essence and in its name, a power weapon. It should be more powerful than the Nasher, the Lancer, the Retro, the Hammerburst, and all these different things. It should be more powerful than that. But it should be balanced with other power weapons to make it so it's worth getting each and every power weapon, you know, worth developing a strat around the sniper, worth developing a strat around the boom shot or the nades or things like that, because I think that with that it adds a lot more depth into the gameplay and it allows people to do a lot more things with it. So another thing I wanted to discuss is, while I'm going through all these balance issues, I want you to imagine that all the things we've discussed previously are in the game. So the way the other weapons are balanced, the rifles, the Nasher and all that kind of thing, they were all balanced the way we've previously discussed. And the active reloads are gone, which is something I haven't discussed yet, but it is something that I agree with. So yeah, so what is the philosophy? So yes, like we said, balance. So how do we balance them? Well, there's 2 different ways you can balance a power weapon on Gears of War, I believe. There's to balance it as a lethal weapon or to balance it as a utility weapon. So all the lethal weapons, the sniper, the torp bow, the boom shot, they should all be doing the same thing, and they should be giving you a certain amount of, how shall I say, killability, lethality. That's a better word. I had that in the back of my mind. But yeah, lethality. They should all be giving you about around the same level of lethality. And then you have the utility weapons, which are similar to the digger, the ink, the smoke, although it's not really a power weapon. Yeah, but those kind of weapons, they should all be giving you a lot of utility, allowing you to do things like push people, trap people, you know, separate players from each other, do things like that. And that's the main 2 kind of aspects of power weapons. So let's start off with the lethal weapons. Let me just get up my list here. Clickety click click. So let's start off with the boom shot. So in previous games, I've noticed in pretty much every single Gears of War game, the boom shot has gotten more and more powerful in one way or the other. Even in Judgment, it's more powerful than Gears of War 3 pretty much, because the on-hit explosion is ridiculous. And the thing about that is, it's not that the boom shot is maybe OP, it's just like it just overshadows everything. Every other power weapon just cannot hold a candle to the boom shot, because it's just ridiculously powerful in comparison to all of them. And I think it does need a bit of a damage reduction. A lot of the time, to solve this issue, they've reduced the amount of ammo. I don't think ammo count is a problem. I think ammo count, having a high ammo count on power weapons is a good thing. because it gives you a reason to actually keep on going and keep on grabbing that power weapon, to keep using it and things. So having a high ammo count is not a problem whatsoever. It's the actual damage the weapon deals itself. So I think with the boom shot, the first thing that they should do is get rid of what they had in Gears of War 3 and previous games. Get rid of the multiple explosions, because that was incredibly annoying. You pick up a meat shield and you get hit by the boom, and you know the meat shield would be blown up, but then you get hit by the multiple explosions after the first one, which would, you know, it was just completely unfair. It's like, you can take a boom shot hit, but you can't take a boom shot hit? What's this about? So yeah, I mean, that's just how it should be. It should be completely slowing down the shot, get rid of the multiple explosions, and then pretty much everything else is fine. As long as you have the damage radius and the actual lethality of Gears of War 3, then boom, you have the best boom shot. That was a bad pun. That was horrible. I apologize. Anyway, what do we have next? So, sniper. Pretty simple. Just up the damage, or the base damage of the sniper, so that it does a lot more, so that you can put someone full red. I mean, there's not really much you can do. Maybe make it so it's a little bit easier to hit headshots with, like it was in Judgment. I know that that's not so fun in quick match and in rank match, but for actual purpose of the weapon, it gives it a lot more lethality. It makes it that power weapon that you actually want to base strategies around and things like that. So it really just gives it everything it needs. Now, Digger is a strange weapon because I don't want it to be changed in any way whatsoever. I think the Gears of War 3 Digger was perfect. Keep it as it is, people. Keep it the same as it was in Gears of War 3. Torque bow. I say up the damage radius, or up the damage radius of the torque bow's explosion. So when you tag it to walls and things, it can actually do a lot more, or have a higher radius of damage. Not the actual kill radius, but like just the damage radius itself. So it hurts people from a longer range. So maybe you can tag a wall when someone's sitting on a piece of cover, and then you can push them because you know they're hurt enough for you to actually get an advantage while you push them. That's pretty much all there is about the torque bow. Maybe find a kind of middle ground, because there wouldn't be active reloads between the torque bow charge up when it's active and the torque bow charge up when it's not active. Find a middle ground to start off with from there, and that should be fine. Ink grenades, take away the stun, and then just keep like a really long radius, or a really wide radius, but keep it consistent. Like, there's nothing I hate more in Gears of War 3 than, you know, not knowing if the ink's going to spread from, you know, here to Jupiter, or just, you know, about a foot and a half. You never know what the ink's going to do in Gears of War 3, and it's one of the most annoying weapons to play against. The Ensigns, incredibly powerful in Gears of War 3. They're the easiest weapon to use on the game by far, or at least the easiest power weapon, and they have a ridiculous amount of lethality. They're almost matching the boom shot, I think, for lethality. I think that the Ensigns, you should really... The annoying thing is the Ensigns and the Ink are pretty much the same weapon. I mean, I think maybe what you could do with the Ensigns is completely remove the kind of area of effect and focus on them being a weapon where you could just throw and get a kill with, and it would cover a very small amount of radius, because you could either have that, or you could completely get rid of the insta-kill and have it cover a really wide ground, but then it is pretty much the Ink, but with flames. That's just it. That is what the Ink is. The Boltok. Now, here's an interesting weapon, because it tends to be a bit meh-y, you know, indifferent. You know, it doesn't really make a difference when it's not active, but when it was active, it tends to be a bit of an overpowered weapon. It tends to be ridiculously strong. You know, you can take 3 people down in something like 3 seconds with the Boltok, if you have it active, which is crazy. It's not just the fact that you can do it all in one clip, but you can do it really, really fast. So I'd say just take the bolt hook as it is when it's not active, and just shove that in the game. That's fine. The Gorgon, Gears of War 2 Gorgon, non-active. Boom. There you go. You got a perfectly balanced weapon. So those are the main weapons I wanted to talk about. I think I'm going to briefly talk about the heavy weapons. Basically, I don't know what to do with the heavy weapons. It seems like the only way to make them useful is to make them ridiculously strong, including the Mulcher more than anything else. If the Mulcher was more like the Vulcan, then maybe the Mulcher would be a more viable weapon. The one-shot and the mortar are occasionally used in competitive play, but no one even thinks about picking up the Mulcher in competitive play. It's just completely useless. And that's just pretty much it. That's everything I wanted to talk about. I know I've missed out quite a few weapons, power weapons, especially from Judgment. That's mainly because I want to talk about them in the next episode in a completely different light. Because there are a few things that I want to say about certain weapons that aren't really to do with balance, but maybe to do with their viability and their purpose in the game itself. But anyway, guys, that is my video on power weapon balance. Thank you for watching, guys, and goodbye.
Get me medical aid! How's that feel?